everyone. Welcome to Talk Chef. I am one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
And we have an incredible guest for you today. Top Chef, Colorado alum, Philly, Brooklyn darling, Chef Chris Scott.
What's happening?
We are
We're so excited. Chris is one of our favorite people that has ever been on Top Chef.
Absolutely. I have a friend in Minnesota who watches this show, and she was like, Chris, oh my God, you met Chris.
Yeah, my mom was similar. My mom was like, I love Chris. So, Chris, everyone's happy that you're here tonight. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Yes.
No problem. And you know what? That's the thing. Like, everybody's mom, they love me. I work with this dude, and he's like, yo, my mom, she follows you on social media. Like, okay.
Honestly,
Chris, you're charming, you're sweet, you're good at cooking, you're handsome. What I love you.
Moms can like a lot of bad stuff. So honestly, this is a huge improvement on what moms like. So
this is a win for moms.
Well, some moms elected our old president, so
yeah. That's true. We're so excited to have you today, and today we're also raising money for Phil Abundance. Chris is from Philly. Reka's also from Philly, as many of you know. I've been to Philly a bunch of times and thoroughly enjoyed it. And so today we're raising money for Phil Abundance, which is, I'll just read you their bio. So they started out as a small food rescue organization operating out of a Subaru. And then 30 years later, they are an organization distributing more than 24 million pounds of food per year to those in need. So we are so excited. They're part of Feeding America. They're doing so much great work, especially I'm sure around the holiday time. We're coming up on Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. We have so many holidays coming up where people need to have fun and joy and good food in their lives. So I want to see how much money we can raise for Phil Abundance.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Philly doesn't take too kind to losing, guys. So please.
Right. Out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah, out of your kindness of your heart, please don't make Philly angry.
Dumping money. Let's go.
Terrific. Let me see. Okay, great. Sorry if also viewers, I was doing the wrong view for our Zoom. Now it's correct. So don't scream. Now, Chris, we got our first order of business taken care of, but there's a second order that we didn't tell you about, which is
oh man.
Much like Top Chef, Top Chef has a quick fire.
Okay.
And the quick fire, and I'm sure you love hearing that word. The quick fire is the shortest quick fire in all of Top Chef history. It's 45 seconds. And we're going to ask you 10 questions. These aren't like trivia questions or anything. They're just questions based on your general preferences and food, food likes and dislikes. Exactly.
Yeah, let me clear my mind. I'm ready.
Exactly. And now the prize.
Turn off all the lights.
Yes. Put the strobe on, get in the zone. The prize, if you win this quick fire, because some quick fires, you win something really nice. You win the deed to the Terlato Vineyard, a wine I have only heard of on Top Chef, and a brand new suite of broken Kenmore appliances.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah, they never work. Every time you try to use them, it seems like someone else has changed the temperature on your oven.
The deep fryer, God forbid, it will not work. Are you ready? Because Jordan will start the timer for 45 seconds after I finish your first question. Ready? Okay. What is the most disgusting ice cream flavor you can imagine?
Balut.
Okay. What was your favorite comfort food as a kid?
I would say, I don't know, fried chicken.
Does Sam in season 2 look like Ashton Kutcher?
Yes.
Do you like hot food on a hot day?
No.
Would you rather have your fryer be cold or your griddle break?
Fryer be cold.
TGI Fridays or Ruby Tuesdays?
Ruby Tuesday.
What kind of cheese goes on a cheesesteak?
Provolone, but you can put the whiz if you want to.
Can you replicate a mushroom wonderland in a restaurant setting?
Yo, that dude sucks. I don't know where they fell in that cat.
Comfort food or fine dining?
Comfort food, of course.
Woo! Okay, we
48 seconds.
got 9 of the questions. You were so close. As a consolation prize, we're going to give you the biggest bottle of Terlato wine we found in the vineyard. It's 72 gallons. That's the standard size. Congratulations.
Small group of people who have bad to just okay.
Yeah. Incredible. Perfect.
You know, Chris is a professional chef because I was like, what's the most disgusting ice cream flavor I can think of? And then
Yeah.
he said balut, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
That's definitely.
I was some dead bird ice cream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So like the plebe would be like a tomato or something, or like whatever. But the chef says balut ice cream, and that's what we love.
Absolutely.
And I think that might actually be a thing too.
Okay.
I'm so.
Sure, probably.
Honestly, sound off in the comments if you've had balut ice cream or in a dessert.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about your experience. So you guys know we're in season 2 of Top Chef, which is notoriously my least favorite season, but we're gonna trudge through it anyway because there's still some fun little moments. So we start off, even before the quick fire, Frank is a cartoonish snorer, I must point out. The way he was snoring before this whole thing began, I simply had to note it down. And we sort of get the discussion of casual versus fine dining already before the challenge even begins between Betty and Marcel. So Chris, you're a comfort food person, you said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Has that been all your life, like even when you were studying to be a chef?
No, I mean, it hasn't really been all my life, but I choose comfort food over fine dining. Now, fine dining is great. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot, of respect for that and everything, but I find that the people who are in control
so Chris, you're a comfort food person. Is someone listening to the
they seem to be on the pretentious and judgmental side.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the thing about cooking, at least to me, it's where I lose myself and where I find myself all over again. It's like my happy place, and it doesn't matter like what you're bringing to the table. Like my life is a potluck, so if you bring something special, I'm going to enjoy it just the same. I don't need you to come to my table and start judging me, for what's there. I don't care about the tricks. I don't care about your bag of tricks. I don't care about, all this pretentious stuff. Just cook and do it with love, and a lot of, and that's the biggest difference between the people that are in control of fine dining or strictly do fine dining as per the comfort food folks.
I think my life as a potluck is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard.
And I found our matching tattoos. That is.
I'm with you. I'm very pro comfort food. And I'm also, I love what you mentioned about like the pretension, the pomp and circumstance that sort of serves to exclude a lot of people, because there's also a weird thing where people associate comfort food with being less nice or less expensive, as I am sure on the side of having to sell this food is a thing. Just being Indian American, and people don't expect to pay a lot at an Indian restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, but they will in a French restaurant or an Italian restaurant.
Exactly. And they overlook all of the beautiful techniques that are even in that. Like they think that if you take a little bit of curry and cook up some rice and that it's easy. There is so much technical technique and nuance to what goes on in comfort food, that's beyond them.
If they literally watch any Asian grandparent cook and see how many confusing spices they put in what confusing order that they never share the recipe for because they can't, because there is no recipe, they will pay $20 because you'll see.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's so wild. I think that I don't know, just like something, I'm probably going to get hate for this, but I'm just like, especially like Reka and I've talked about this before, maybe going to culinary school, right? Like we're in quarantine, Reka and I are tossing ideas around. So we're like, maybe we both go to culinary school together. But it's like, I have no interest in learning like French technique, or I'm like, Italian food, like, okay, I get it, but also like get over yourself when it's like, I like cooking and I'm good at cooking. And I have tried to make curries at home many times, and they are never as good as what you get in a restaurant. It's just like so hard to replicate it. Can I make pasta at home with a good marinara sauce? Yes, I can. So that's why, you know, fried chicken is hard to do at home, to get the batter perfect and to make sure it's crunchy on the outside and not burnt, but cooked through on the inside and still juicy. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with people.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good in fine dining too. Like some of I know two of my favorite chefs in the world, right? And they probably don't even know that I feel this way about them. But there's my friend Shola in Philly and Joe Sasto, who I met on the show. Both of them extremely brilliant at what they do. And they lean more towards the fine dining side of things. But their creativity and their approach to food and cuisine and mostly the respect for it. They don't think of themselves as more high and mighty than the rest. They're embracing everything. Like I said, they lean more towards fine dining, but those two dudes are like impressively, ridiculously brilliant when it comes to ideas and, you know, and the mixing of ideas and ingredients and techniques, you know, and then when they go deep into their own culture, forget about it.
That's such a good segue into what this episode ends up being about, which ends up kind of being like a fine dining versus comfort food battle of like fine dining people being like, I don't do comfort food. It's like, to me, saying that is like, my food doesn't make you happy. I don't know what they're talking. My food is not comforting.
Well, see, I mean, his name is or was Marcel, right?
Marcel. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I heard about him, but you know what? In almost every single kitchen that you work in, there's always that one jackass. That's him, you know. And it's like, come on, man. You know, see, here's a story. Back in the day, back in Philly, do you remember a place called Rococo?
Yes.
It was on Chestnut Street, like on 2nd Street in Old City.
Yeah, I never went, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so I worked there, and the chef, his name was Al Paris, and he was never like trying to do all these citywide competitions, you know, but he would let me do it, and I would go there to represent the restaurant, and I would go there sometimes, and I'd be going up against executive chefs from all over the city, and sometimes I would win. You know, I mean, I was feeling myself. And I remember one time coming back after winning this thing, and I got my trophy. I'm talking shit, you know, there's guys on the line, I'm bragging, like, oh, you can't stop me. I just beat, you know, this guy, I just beat that guy, you know, man, your food sucks, yada, yada. And so the chef comes down, he's like, oh, Chris, I heard that you won. You know, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm the shit. You can't stop me, da, 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 you know. And he goes, okay, well, check this out. I want you to go change your clothes, come back up. I need a hollandaise and a béarnaise sauce real quick, all right? And I'm like, yeah, no problem, chef, no problem. He comes back up. I don't have the sauces. And he goes, why don't you have the sauces? And before I could even answer, he's screaming at the top of his lungs, takes the thing, throws it on the ground. He goes, because you fucking can't. You know, you think you're the shit, and you think that you're all that, and you think that you can just go around, you know, thinking that you're high and mighty, and you can't even do the fundamentals. You know, you think you can sear a steak or roast a bird, but you don't even know how to make a fucking sauce. So go back on the line and work the rest of the night. And everybody who I was talking shit to is looking at me like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, right.
That story is chilling.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you laugh, but also feel like you could vomit.
And it was like moments like that that make you get humble, you know, and it's like, you know what? I don't need to feel myself like that, you know? Mm.
Yeah.
Fine dining versus comfort food.
Yes, oh my God, wow.
And mainly what's in your head,
Yes. And I
making you think that you're more than what you actually are.
yes, your attitude doesn't seem to have a place, like an attitude like that, have a place in a kitchen like that.
Yep. Yep.
You know, obscure you. So like we get a lot of chefs who are kind of exhibiting this behavior even in the quick fire, which was to create an original ice cream flavor. And they had to make 3 quarts of it to be road tested in Redondo Beach, basically.
Yeah.
And none of the people, I guess they figured this was going to be some sort of fancier tasting event because none of them expected to see kids, particularly Emily, I think. But the flavors we got were, and we'll do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down if this would be good to you. We got Betty with beach berry with homemade chocolate sauce.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Marisa with vanilla peanut swirl.
Yeah, I'm down.
I like it. I gotta imagine there's more going on. I think this was the era of Top Chef where they weren't writing entirely descriptive lower thirds. So some like Sam's salad was just called a fruit salad. I'm like, in season 17, no way.
Never.
Never.
Now keep in mind, I'm like an ice cream freak.
Okay.
Oh my God. What?
Wait, time out. What's your favorite brand? Unless you don't want to say, unless we get paid advertising, or favorite flavor.
All right, now check this out. Okay, so Cool House probably might be my favorite of all time. It used to be Steve's. Do you remember that? Steve's, it's a New York State one, Steve's ice cream. And they came out with the salted caramel. And then they kind of fell off for a bit, but now they're back. And they used to have a see-through container, but now it's paper and it's not so good now.
Damn.
But Cool House probably is one of my favorites, especially the ice cream sandwiches.
Those ice cream
they cost like $8 each, but
it's like 2 meals.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I've not had one. The only Cool House flavor I've had is the like balsamic fig mascarpone.
Oh yes, yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, speak on it. Yes, indeed.
I love ice cream flavors like that. My nobody cares. My favorite ice cream place is is called Handles, and it was outside of Philadelphia, but they have one in Del Mar here, which is crazy because I think it was started by a guy I went to high schools with, brother. Wow. I have a gift card burning a hole in my pocket for 2 years to Handles. Wow. And my favorite ice cream is called Graham Central Station. It is graham cracker ice cream with a graham cracker dough swirled in it, and then chocolate covered graham cracker bits. Because I love chunks in my ice cream.
We love them.
Really?
I mean, 80%.
I don't mind it, but I prefer it smooth.
No.
I respect that, but Reka and I are little freaks for mix-ins. We cannot get enough unless it's a soft serve. And I will have to say, this is also, I think I bring a lot of unintentionally controversial food opinions to the show. I prefer a soft serve ice cream to a hard ice cream. Like growing up, I went to this place that they had one in South Florida for some reason, but I think it's originally from Jersey, called Coors Brothers. Okay. And they had a peanut butter and chocolate soft serve swirl that was like the best thing I've ever had.
I think if we're working with flavors like that, I can do, like, I like soft serve a lot. I think it's great. I think just like sometimes it's so much ice cream, it makes me want to have diarrhea immediately. So it better be like a really excellent flavor pairing.
There's this one that's up near in Bucks County called Tanner's. It's like a farmhouse stand. Ooh. And they got like all the good ones.
Is it Brewster's?
Huh?
Is it Brewster's?
No, it's called Tanner's.
Oh, Tanner's. Okay.
Tanner's. But it's like up around Horsham or Hatboro in Bucks County.
Hatboro, that's where Luke is from.
Okay.
Yes.
Our friend.
Our friend. Chris, you don't know him, but
you don't know him, but he's our friend.
I think you'd like him.
Okay, I'll hop back to Jordan, did you say your favorite flavor?
No. Well, that one from Coors Brothers, probably my favorite. Ice cream is not my number one dessert, which I think, Rika, you feel similarly to me.
Yeah, I do like it, but it's like I will go through a thing of like homemade cookies faster than a pint of ice cream.
Yes, but Reka and I, for anyone in LA looking to try ice cream, Reka and I both like Magpies and Wanderlust.
Wanderlust is my shit. Ube malt crunch. I will marry ube.
Very good. It's very good. And I would say that that ice cream bridges the gap between Reka and I, because Reka is into earthy and fruity, and I am into very sweet, chocolatey, what I consider to be real dessert and not produce. And ube malted crunch really brings Reka and I together. It is, I think, $30 a cup. It's like the most expensive ice cream I've ever had.
It's
that's
like
crazy.
it's like $6, and then each pint is like 15, which is a lot. It's so good. It's so fucking good. And they changed
their like birthday ice cream. You know, I get myself a little pint for my birthday.
Oh my God.
My new joint now, there's so we drive up to Jersey City, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name, but you can Google it. Just Google ice cream shop in Jersey City, right? But this spot, it's nope.
Milk Sugar Love Creamery?
Yes. Yo, I'm telling you, lemon olive oil gelato.
Yes.
I'm telling
you, love.
You will put on rings and backslap your mom.
Me?
It's that good. It's that good. It's that
for a
good.
reason to. Wow, delicious. I love citrus anything. So that sounds so good.
Oh my God.
It's subtle.
I'm looking at their flavors. I'm so sorry we're taking this huge detour. Matcha brownie. Matcha is my favorite flavor on earth.
Do they have the charcoal chocolate on there?
Yes.
Banging.
Really?
Banging.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we gotta get back to the East Coast.
I know. Honey pretzel.
Lemon meringue, orange marzipan.
Rosemary toffee pine nut.
Caramel flan custard.
Banana peanut butter brownie.
I told you.
Carmen Rosa's Dominican cake.
I told you.
All right. Well, Reka and I will drive out there, and Chris will pick you up on the way.
Yeah, we'll pick you up. Wow. Okay. Truly returning to earth. Carlos made a vanilla bean with marshmallow ice cream, but it had an avocado base that he only told the parents about.
Yeah. I mean, I dig the artistry.
Yeah.
And I think that when you freeze avocado like that it gets more like fatty and buttery-ish. So probably the texture would have been off.
Okay, that's interesting. So then maybe they didn't even notice that. Sam made ginger snap and citrus crumble, which I love.
Sounds good.
Great.
Yeah.
Mikey made peanut butter and jelly with bananas.
Easy.
Good.
I mean, yeah. This was also in the era of Top Chef where just some people you don't know what they made. So we'll never know what Mia or Elia made. And I guess we'll die not knowing.
Yeah.
Josie made a peach cobbler. That sounds good. She made a strange comment to an older.
I know. I caught that.
African-American woman.
Yeah, I'm like, man, for real.
I know. She said, I know you know what cobbler is. And I was like,
oh my God. This can't keep happening. The same thing happened last week with a different comment.
Betty, it was a Vietnamese and a Korean challenge. There was like one team that did one cuisine and one did another. And Betty makes a summer roll, and she goes, she says something like, I bet you.
Yeah, she's like, I know. The way that it's cut is it's just shot on her, and she goes, oh, I know. You look like a woman that looks like you love Vietnamese food. And then it cuts to like a group of Asian women. And I'm like, I'm praying to God that that's like not really what happened. They just like edited it that way.
To God, Betty did not tell a group of Asian women, I bet you love summer rolls. I will jump off of a bridge if she did that.
But you know what? I think that my season was the first season where they started to kind of watch what we would say or what they would air, you know, because I was even watching an old one of the Masters, Top Chef Masters. And even the shit that they would talk to each other was kind of like, you don't really want to put that on TV.
Yes.
You know?
Whenever people ask, Top Chef seasons to watch, the three I always say, I say 11 except the end. I say 15 because everyone is very nice to each other.
Rika, can you also say what cities these are for people who
sorry.
don't remember the numbers
11
for
is
seasons?
New Orleans, 15 is Colorado, and 16 is the other one is Kentucky. Just because I think it's a cool spot. Giannis, yes, 15 seasons. There's actually 17 seasons. That's why this show will last forever.
Yeah, and there's going to be Top Chef amateurs. The show will, if the show stops airing, Rika and I will die, and that is something that I hope gets to Bravo.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe at least 30 more years in me, God willing.
Yeah. I have seen every season 35 times during quarantine. Okay, great. So then
I think the only seasons that I watched.
Oh yes.
I started watching. I watched season 7 because Kevin was on there.
I will say Kevin is delightful. That is the other worst season, in addition to season 6, which I also don't like.
Yeah. Here's okay. So here's some trivia for Top Chef, right?
Yeah.
So me, Kevin Sprague, Mike Isabella, and Franklin Becker all worked together in the same restaurant in Philly years before Top Chef came into any of our lives.
Wow.
Me and Joy Crump, who was on the Boston season, we went to high school together. We graduated high school together.
She seems so sweet.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, sometimes I wish some of the people that got voted off a little bit earlier could come back and do like a redemption season, because we've gotten all-star seasons where we get people we really like, I couldn't be more thrilled that we got Carla again, or the fact that like Leanne Wong came back for another season, like all that stuff I love. But I would like someone like Joy, who I really think has a lot of talent, but just like didn't get their footing quite fast enough for a show, because a show does feel so different than normal cooking. I would love to see some of those people get another shot at.
Yeah,
I would too. I think that's a great idea. Hello, Bravo.
We love a Top Chef fun fact.
You know what would be nice? You know what would be nice? If they ever decide to film in Philly and then have me and Joy come back in our hometown. You know what I mean?
I will lose my freaking mind. I
would show up at set. They'd be like, excuse me, you two need to leave. We'd be like, our friend.
And I will invite, can you cook in my house? I'll get married in my house and you guys have to do a wedding wars.
Yeah, Rick and I'll marry each other to get on that.
Absolutely. Emily made an ice cream flavor called Calming Chocolate with a little bit of lavender. I think, I'm not super, I'll try it. It doesn't sound, I don't know. She also had go ahead.
You got to be real good to know how to mess with lavender.
Yes,
exactly.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Because if not, your shit's going to taste like perfume or deodorant or something.
It's people use it. Same with like rose water and like all that stuff. Yeah. People gotta be delicate, especially if pastry is not your thing. I don't know.
Right.
Emily also said something demented where she said the last thing because someone criticized her ice cream or said they didn't like it, and she said it wasn't sweet enough. And she said the last thing you need with your 4 teeth and your huge ass is more sugar. That is a thing Emily said. Which, is interesting. So we'll move on.
Strange. It's almost like people forget that they're on TV sometimes,
and that
from the moment you wake up, they mic you up.
Yes.
Until it's time for you to go to sleep.
I read. Go ahead.
Even when you come back and you're just sitting around, you're still mic'd up. So like probably 4 or 5 days in, you get used to it and you forget that the mic is there.
That is so gracious of both of you. She said this during an interview, like a talking head.
You want to believe that it was an accident, but it's one of those things where it's like, she shouldn't be thinking that, because like, what is your problem? And then on top of that, it's like, why would you'd feel so comfortable saying it,
The fat phobia is absolutely rampant. So crazy. Cliff makes a marshmallow with cookies ice cream.
Yum.
It sounds a little sweet unsweet for me, but yeah, I'll try it. Elon makes waffles and bacon. I'm a vegetarian. I'll eat the shit out of that. Yeah.
Very good. And I have to say that's good because I think he may be watching right now.
Elon?
No.
I told him, I said, yo, I'm going on this show and I'm talking about your season. So if you want to watch, then watch. So
Okay.
Elon, if you're watching,
Wow.
good ice cream, dude.
Okay, Elon, it does look good. And I will say, Jordan and I have been intending to go to Ramen Hood for like a week or two now. And now we're definitely going to go.
Now we have to go. Also, I will say, Elon, if you're watching, you're really pandering now. I went to the Gore Bowls when it existed. It was absolutely delicious.
Yo, I'm trying to get him to bring Knife Fight back so I could be his co-star.
Forgot about that. Would be so fun.
That'd be very fun.
You know what I mean?
Okay, we're here for it.
Okay, wow. We're absolutely losing our minds. Okay, Marcel made avocado and bacon.
Yeah, he's
No, Marcel, we hate you.
And I'm someone who, if you gave me, I love avocado ice cream at Copalia, the diner in New York. It's like a 24-hour diner on 14th.
Like Cuban, right?
Cuban, yeah, it's a Cuban diner. They have an avocado milkshake that fucking slaps.
and you know what? He made that just for shock value. And I can tell you that straight up.
Yes.
He made that, and I don't know the brother from a can of paint, but because of his approach to food, you know, he made that for shock value. Now, if you ask Shola or Sasto to make that same exact ice cream, they'll come from a different mind space, heart space.
You mean wanting it to taste good?
Right. You know, but they would probably use some classic techniques rather than trying all hard to go all out with like foams and jellies and like just make a fucking ice cream, dude.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. So Marcel, as we kind of expected, ends up in the bottom with Emily and Marisa.
Of course.
Which is a bummer for Marisa because she's a pastry chef. And then top three is Carla, Sam, and Cliff. And Cliff wins. So he gets immunity, which is great. And this elimination challenge truly has like 16 parts to it. So I'll just read what I wrote. With a budget of $100, create a dish that would appeal to TGI Fridays guests that is reminiscent of your favorite childhood food that will be served to firefighters. That's a lot of stuff going on. I thought, I'm like, wouldn't it just, maybe they had some sort of deal worked out with the fire department? Like, wouldn't it just be easier to serve it to TGI Fridays customers or something? But maybe they can't afford that branding or whatever. I don't know.
And you know what was confusing too is that they only brought one plate to each table. Yes. Like now everybody eats. Like you just don't get a sample plate and pass it around. I mean, it's not like church. I mean, you make a bunch of plates, you pass them out.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, that was straight.
That makes so much more sense because if you're sharing with a bunch of people, it's like unless you make sure you have if you like are serving 6 people off one plate, you have to make sure you have 6 basil leaves that are equally distributed across so each person gets that exact same bite, which seems very tedious.
Right.
Yes.
And it's not that, I mean, to a chef cooking for 4, cooking for 10, it's the same thing. Okay. You know, you just pull out some more plates. That's all.
Yeah.
You know,
that was interesting. The winning entree also, I forgot to mention the 6th part of this. Winning entree will be on a TGI Fridays menu. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we get this little tidbit that Mikey used to work for TGI Fridays for a month and a half, and they would like us to know this will not affect his judging. Terrific. Marcel tells us comfort food isn't what I do, and we all go, we know. Mikey with his $100 budget, this destroyed me. He buys himself beer, which is like, okay, fine, if you like think you're gonna have cheap ingredients, whatever, but he goes over budget, and then he takes out cheese to pay for the beer.
Can I tell you a secret?
Please.
Okay, so during our season, now we wouldn't do anything crazy like that, right? But there would sometimes be leftover, like let's say if we had $100 to go shop, and let's say I spent 92 of it, right? While we're in line, so this will be at the Whole Foods. You remember how they used to sell CDs?
Yes.
So we would pick up CDs and iced coffee, right? So that we could actually have some music to listen to in the cars when we're driving to and from the studio.
So you're
So
listening to like 10 Fleetwood Mac songs that they
we
sell
had
at the
Fleetwood
Starbucks.
Mac, we had Carly Simon,
Yes.
we had the Disney soundtrack, and we had like almost every iced coffee known to man. So with our
Wow.
extra money, we bought music and coffee.
That's extremely wholesome. Just
So-
listening to Cinderella soundtrack, drinking a macchiato.
That's sweet.
It's so cute.
I have a quick question. So sorry, but I do need to know something pressing that I've never asked before. So they do not close down the Whole Foods for you?
No, they
Tell the Whole Foods you're coming, because everybody's always going behind the counter, touching the fish. They won't let me do that. I've asked.
yeah. So I'm guessing that the producers probably, because there'll be one Whole Foods, and we would shop there, I'd say 11 times in a season, right? So the producers probably go there, and maybe the day that we're going to go, they probably go there and say, look, they're going to come between 3 and 4. So whoever's going to be there needs to sign this paperwork so that if they want to be seen on TV, it's not going to be shocking. But for the people, I mean, it's fun, you know. I mean, people don't have their cameras out, you know, so it's very careful, you know.
Yeah.
But we're like running around, screaming, acting a fool, you know. But there's shoppers there.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
So when you go to the grocery store as your own person, do you get behind the counter? Are you touching the fish? Are you smelling the fish? Or are they like,
No, we would ask the people. So let's say if like, let's say it's a Saturday and the shoppers, the real shoppers are busy. As soon as we show up and the cameras are rolling, they got to stop what they're doing and wait on us and basically do whatever we ask for.
Damn.
God,
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to sneak in. We have to sneak in during a filming of Top Chef
absolutely.
Or you could just go in there with like a GoPro
and be like,
and just start screaming 5 minutes.
yeah, I'm on
2
Top Chef.
minutes.
Chasing y'all around the store.
Oh my God.
Right.
Incredible.
Wow. Sorry to interject. I just did.
No.
I have a question about that.
I love that. So we get more Marcel versus Betty stuff where Marcel is like, comfort food is stupid, blah, blah, blah. And Betty's getting very annoyed.
And Betty's like, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Like something else must have happened because she comes at him so hard.
I agree. I think Marcel seems really annoying, but I think Betty's reaction was also like, oh my God, you're both being very annoying.
It felt wild to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was very crazy. So the dishes that they end up making, and there's more drama that happens after this, which is why I don't like this season. But Mikey makes like a cheesesteak sandwich with onion.
Whack.
I'm
Whack.
Yeah, why whack, Chris?
Because it was falling apart.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, first off, you know, if you're from Philly, I mean, a cheesesteak is a very sacred thing.
Sure.
And mind you, I just said cheesesteak, not Philly cheesesteak.
Right.
You know, people all across the country will go up to some place and they'll go, can I have a Philly cheesesteak? That's so damn dumb. That's when you know that you're a tourist. It's like me going to Coney Island saying, can I have a Coney Island dog? Like, get out of here, you damn tourist.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, the cheesesteak that he had, it was falling apart. It was messy. You couldn't even hold it. I mean, if you're going to make a sandwich, then make a damn sandwich.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
It has to have some structure, some integrity to it.
Mm.
Maybe it tasted good, perhaps not, but it just wasn't a sandwich because you couldn't even hold the shit.
They did not say it tasted good. They said it was overcooked and didn't. Yeah, overcooked, didn't have flavor.
Right.
Marcel makes pork chops, mashed potatoes, cabbage, and a mushroom sauce.
Right. I mean, he's supposed to be all that special, and that really wasn't all that special.
That's what they said
And
too.
freaked out because he couldn't put one onion ring on top of it. I'm like, this was really one onion ring is gonna make your dish.
So this little drama that happened is Marcel is trying to cook his onion rings, which he said he spent a long time making, which is confusing to me because it doesn't seem to go with the other things in the dish. And he is trying to use the fryer and the oil is not hot enough. And Betty is kind of like, well, just stop complaining and figure it out, which is like, okay, fair. And then after Marcel gets his plates out, and I don't even remember if they liked them. Oh yeah, they did like them because they liked the mashed potatoes. Betty says, I think anything that'll fuck you up is fair. You're a selfish, self-centered, egotistical bastard, which if season 1's quote was, I'm not your bitch, I believe this is season 2's quote. You're a selfish, self-centered, egotistical bastard. That came out of a little bit of nowhere for me, but I can understand that Marcel is probably annoying.
Something happened. Something must have happened between them two, because for one, you're not going to play yourself like that on TV, you know, and just go crazy. Yeah. So something happened.
Yeah.
To where he got to her enough to where she just showed her ass like that on national TV forever. Because that was season 2. What, that was like 2006?
2007, I think, because 2006 was season 1.
And here we are, almost 2021, and you can still see that shit tonight if you want to.
It's true. I think this was such the beginning era of cooking competition shows. People didn't realize like extreming wasn't even a thing. So like people didn't realize you could go back and have an idiot like me just watch it and go, Betty, right now, as if she hasn't changed in 15 years. Sam, meanwhile, is also cooking while they're arguing. And then Betty's like, I'm not going to talk anymore because I don't want to distract Sam. And Sam's like, thanks. And then just like a fucking champ is ignoring this entire argument. And then I think they did him so dirty here because his lower third for what he made just is summer fruit salad. And he says, yeah, go ahead.
To his defense, to be able to cook fruits or vegetables well is a skill.
Oh, I'm saying they did him dirty by having a bad lower third. I would eat the shit out of that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was probably one of the best dishes. I'm sorry, Lon, if you're watching, but Sam had you on those dishes. I mean, to be able to take a vegetable and not cook the hell out of it or cook it, you know, too little, too much, the seasoning has to be right, and you still want to bring out the natural flavors of that vegetable, you know, and I think that Sam was smart enough to do it, you know.
I think so too.
He didn't win.
We got elaboration, which was marinated fruit in a spicy chimichurri vinaigrette, which sounds amazing. I just want to know what fruits it. Why do you want to know the fruit? I want to make it.
Yeah.
I also think he did a really good job being strategic. He was talking about how he really looked at their menu and they didn't have anything on their menu that seemed even remotely similar to this compared to other people who were making like chicken fingers or whatever, where it's like TGI Fridays already serves that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So I thought that was strategically very smart.
I agree. Emily makes something called super slamming surf and turf. And the last thing I saw her put on it was some carrots. I'm a vegetarian, so I've got a lot of thoughts on people cooking vegetables on this show. Anytime someone gets a vegetarian challenge, their whole asshole turns into like a pinprick and their head explodes. So I saw the vegetables she made and they looked like, I will say what they looked like. It's possible they tasted different. Boiled carrots with no seasoning. And what's hilarious is the note she got was like way, way, way too salty, which I was like, where? But so then Frank made this like Alice in Wonderland inspired mushroom fantasy salad with a
by far the worst dish I've ever seen on any cooking show, and probably in real life. No, I gotta say, there was this one dude back at Butterfunk who was trying out for a sous chef, and he made like a cheese plate, like a charcuterie something, and I guess he ran out of ideas. Yo, shit you not, this motherfucker took pretzel rods and it was pretzel rods rolled up prosciutto strawberries that were cut in half, and I like maybe like a balsamic drizzle out the can. I love that face.
That's
Exactly.
that's
So
like
Job interview.
right.
Yeah.
So that charcuterie plate and my man's mushroom dish probably got to be the two worst dishes that I've seen in the 30 plus years that I've been cooking.
that
And I've seen a lot of fucked up shit.
that makes me laugh. Both of those things make me laugh so much. One, to the person that was doing the job interview, I'm like, did the kitchen not have food in it? That's like the stuff that they make on Top Chef when they're like, you are in the middle of a desert. There's one can of tuna and one saltine, and you have to make beef bourguignon. That's
Right.
It's
It's
so
horrible.
wild. I
Right.
also was wondering, was the mushroom on Frank's dish cooked, or was
Yes.
it just a raw mushroom?
I
It
believe it
didn't
was
even
cooked.
matter. It didn't even matter. Like once it came to the table and you saw that, it didn't even matter anymore. Like, come
Lose
on,
track.
man, stop. You gotta turn around, just leave.
As someone who eats a lot of vegetables, even if it was a very sweaty looking mushroom, so I assume it was cooked, but you can't cook a giant mushroom like that and expect it to be flavorful. You have to cut it or whatever, because it was just like at least in my opinion, maybe I don't know shit. It just looks like a big mushroom he boiled whole. I don't know what like flavoring it has. Or how
Well, he certainly wasn't thinking about flavor.
Yeah.
If you look at the plating and how it was on the plate, flavor was not on his mind at all. At all.
It looked great. He did make a mushroom duck salad, so maybe I'm dumb. And oven roasted tomatoes. I forgot, because this challenge had 16 parts to it. I did forget what part of the challenge was, and when they were like, "You can't serve this in a restaurant," I was like, "Oh my god!" The winning dish goes on the menu at TGI Fridays.
Yeah, imagine going to TGI Fridays being like, we got 8 mushroom wonderlands all day.
10 tickets.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
like, oh no.
That's when your team is like, yo, fuck this job. Fuck this.
Not even blowing smoke. Jordan and I are huge corn fans, so Elon made a bacon smoked roasted corn dish. Oh baby, oh, I would eat the hell out of that. That looked so good.
Now I've had Elon's food maybe 4 or 5 times. So just looking at that and knowing his style now, I looked at that and I thought, okay, that's good.
him.
But
Okay.
Sam's was better.
Yes. Sorry, Elon, but Chris.
But Sam might be watching too, so just to be safe, we should also be pandering to Sam.
Shit, Sam's probably watching. Fuck, I think Betty's in the chat. Damn.
I think Padma's watching.
Padma's probably watching. Oh my god, hi, please like me.
She ain't watching. she's like in Brazil or something.
No.
We truly love her so much on this show. And this is her first season. As we will point out, every single episode, season 1 of Top Chef, is hosted by Katie Lee Joel, who is Billy Joel's ex-wife, and they met when she
was in college. Very important to know about her.
We'll continue to point that out. Cliff made grown-up mac and cheese with fish sticks.
Sure.
It seems fine. It doesn't seem like, he says grown up. Again, this is, I think the lower thirds are doing him dirty, because I'm like, to me, that doesn't sound like he upscaled it, but it says grown up. I just don't know in what way.
Sometimes that's a strategy to just play it safe. You know, like as long as you can fundamentally cook what you're cooking, just do it right. Then you're not going to be on the bottom, and you know you're not going to win. So you don't really start pulling out the guns until like the 3rd or 4th weekend. You know, you just kind of coast, because some people like come out all hard, and they mess up, So that was like me on the show during my season. Like Sasto was so good, you kind of had to let him do his thing and let him fail on his own in order to get.
I remember in your lower third, or your talking head, talking about that because you and Tanya wanted to do the beignets with the orange and chocolate, and Joe was like, chocolate, and you're like,
Yep. Yeah.
And then didn't you guys win?
And then we won. Yeah. He didn't win, but we won. But most importantly, that very next day is when me and him talked it out, became friends, and we're still friends now.
I think that's
We
beautiful.
love that friendship.
But I'm sorry, but there was a lot of off-air drama that night. Like after the cameras left, oh my goodness.
Oh my, well, at least you resolved it. I mean, I
We
still
resolved it.
contend season
Yeah.
15 is the most like sweet, friendly, loving season, I believe.
Yeah, I think especially once we got settled into it a little bit more too. Like
Yeah.
as your season went on, I think people got nicer and nicer to each other, which was great to watch.
Yes.
Yep.
Josie made Miami style barbecue steak skewers with fire roasted salsa. I eat that.
As someone that grew up in Miami, I cannot tell you what Miami style is.
Would you say that it's more Cuban?
That's what I'm guessing she means.
I guess so, but I don't know. That felt weird to me because Miami is pretty diverse. Like, because, you have a big Caribbean population, you have a big Italian population, you have a big Cuban population, there's a lot. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And maybe it's strategic, like you were saying, to not really pin it down to one thing, to then be like, oh, well, this doesn't remind me of the Cuban food I've tasted or whatever. But to me, it felt, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. I think this is also a problem I have with Josie in general, where I'm just like, okay, but what?
She really tries to represent Miami hard in every season she's been in, and maybe
I like that. I respect that about her, but I'm like, calling something Miami style, I'm like, it's humid. I don't know what that means.
It's humid. Elia made fish tacos with shrimp and tuna and salsa. Fine. Carlos made chicken fried shrimp with corn, red pepper, and lime salad. That sounds good. Mia made Mamma Mia, meatloaf sandwich with spicy cacciarella. Is that a word she made up, or is that a thing?
What's cacciarella?
I don't know.
I think it's a word she made up.
I think it's a word she made. It must have been like a ketchup plus something type of sauce, is my guess.
Like a Dijonnaise or something.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
What is it? Ketchup and mozzarella?
That's what I thought. And I was like, oh, rake of vinaigrette.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. And then Marisa made a strawberry crisp with orange caramel sauce and pecan streusel topping and a vanilla bean ice cream.
See, I like that she did a sweet.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm a sweet freak and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Betty had a grilling issue, which was ironic given the shit she gave Marcel. The cheese she was using for her grilled cheese looked like Velveeta. It was like in a pot, which is
like a fondue or something.
Yeah, and maybe that was only just like a sauce or something. I don't know. Marcel,
I love Velveeta, so even if that was the case, I'm fine with that.
Yes. Marcel also decided I'm going to watch her for an intimidation factor, and I thought, no, stop. And then she serves her Bada Bing Betty grilled cheese soup with portobello mushrooms and a roasted red pepper. Oh, sorry, grilled cheese sandwich. Grilled cheese soup. Sandwich with portobello mushrooms and a roasted red pepper soup, which sounds great to me.
Mm-hmm.
Judges table, the top are Betty, Sam, and Cliff. Betty is the winner. It seemed, in my mind, I think Sam had a good idea. I don't know if TGI Fridays is willing to branch out enough to have like a fruit salad like that on their menu. Maybe
I think that for a scale like a TGI Friday, where there's like 20 of them in every city.
Yes.
That it will be hard to prep that out, keep it fresh.
Yes.
Yeah, get seasonal fruit in it. You know what I mean? Like maybe if you're at a TGI Fridays in California, you got seasonal fruit all year, but maybe not Iowa.
And then the pickup is probably hard.
Yes. Because it's got to be cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense to me that Betty won. Hers seemed the most ready to be on the menu.
It seemed a little boring to me, but they really seemed to freak for it. So it must have been good. I mean, it sounds good, but
It seems like she did something to the cheese. She put portobello mushrooms in there instead of as a giant sort of sculpture on her plate like Frank did. And on the bottom, speaking of Frank, Frank is on the bottom, Mikey's on the bottom, and Emily's on the bottom. And Emily gets eliminated, which I thought made sense.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I mean, so the guy with the mushroom,
Frank.
yeah, the worst plate ever in the history of food shows, going all the way back to the 1920s. I mean, it's the worst dish ever.
And you're including the 70s where people made like aspic and shit.
Yeah. But that other guy, I mean,
Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, he just didn't take it seriously.
He's a joke.
And I think, and I mean, I heard that there's over 200,000 cooks every year that apply for Top Chef. And you let that dude get on, when there's so many people that are worthy
Absolutely.
of doing their thing, that have a good story behind them. You don't want to see no dude, taking their Whole Foods money and buying beer and fucking off and,
Yeah, feels very disrespectful.
It's disrespectful to the craft.
Yeah,
wow.
Totally.
That truly shocked me that 200,000 people apply. Like, I don't know.
I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that.
It makes even just the point of like, these people are cast ostensibly for something that they bring to the culinary world, something that they bring to the show, or their food story or whatever.
Right.
And so I think that's a good point, regardless of how many people apply, that like, what is his food story?
Yeah, and I'm happy that I would say, I don't think someone like Mikey would be put on the show at this point.
I don't either.
Which I think,
I think we
really
the caliber. If
Yep.
people are liking Top, like this is just some people in our audience, this is their first time watching. If you're liking Top Chef now, oh my God.
Just you wait.
Once we break past season 3, all bets are off. This is off to the races. And once you get past season 10, my God.
Whole new world.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world. It's gonna be incredible.
My favorite, I was starting to talk about this before. My favorite season was the end of Boston.
I love the end of the
And I didn't even start watching until I think the final started, because I mainly only watch when people I know are on there, but someone was like, yo, there's this dude, Gregory, who's on fire. You got to go and tune in. So I started to I'm telling you, so good. And the fact, that we met on the show on the episode that I won, because we did it at Departure, and then we became friends, and we have so much in common. And he's a good dude to know. But I got my first taste when someone was like, you gotta tune in and check him out. I think that Boston was probably the only time that I watched consistently. And then off and on for my season. And then after my season, I kind of stopped.
I will say that I think you are totally correct to do that, because some seasons kind of end in a whimper. Boston, the final 5 are absolutely captivating to watch. Unbelievable. Yeah. Some of the best, most creative people you'll see.
Right.
And Gregory is like a legend of this show. He's so good. He makes pickles in one episode that truly moved me.
on my season in the finals, when Adrian was going up against Flam.
Yes.
Adrian's first dish. Now I don't know if it was the fatigue of being, on the show for 7 weeks, but Adrian's dish,
the buttermilk dashi with
the tuile and the uni and the spoon bread. It was so beautiful. And I was plating it. I rarely get emotional to where it shows. I was crying as I was plating her dish.
Okay.
It was like that beautiful.
We have talked about that dish multiple times on this show. In season 1, episode 2, there is a sexy dessert challenge. And I cited Adrian's dish in this episode because I was like, to me, that dish was sexy. It was sexy. It was beautiful. It was moving. It was just like, I never thought to do that with food before. And like, even her story of how it came to be and just like how she came to be and like figuring out her voice.
That dish, it's creative. It's thoughtful. It's historic with the ingredients and the spoon bread, the use of the buttermilk, but also kind of new school.
Yes.
With the preparation that she was going on there. And then the Adrian part of her came out with the caviar and the Benton's bacon and all that, you know, but it was just such a beautiful dish. I remember plating it and I was telling her, I said, Adrian, this dish is so, you know, freaking beautiful, as the tears were coming down, but I don't think they caught that or aired that part.
They definitely didn't air that.
Yeah, because Rachel and I would be crying and watching
it. Was like, man, you are going to win, and you're going to be the first Black woman to ever win Top Chef. And I'm so glad to be on this team with you, and we're going to do it, you know? And the tears were coming. But then Flam and Sasto came out with that banging ass pasta dish made
with wheat. Like burnt wheat from like a field 1,000 years ago. It looked like river rocks and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but you know, Reka and I were pulling for Adrian. That's one of you know, a lot of times we feel like the season, even if it's not the exact person we wanted, we're like, oh, okay, it's still someone we like kind of wanted. And no disrespect to Sasto or Flam, we love, but we really liked Adrian once it got down to those final 3, and I think she should have won. I'll say it.
Hey, listen, there's a few seasons. If we're talking about who should have won, there's a few seasons we could talk about.
I know, we can't even talk about New Orleans.
I know, we can't talk about New Orleans or I'll die.
Or Eric from Kentucky.
Okay.
Oh.
I got chills just now because as a vegetarian, like I have not eaten a ton of West African food. But he makes me want to eat it so badly. I was rewatching Kentucky the other day and I made, I'm sure it tastes like shit if someone who was West African ate it, but I made a peanut stew and I made fufu for the first time and it was so good. Yeah. And he's so inspirational. And he seems really nice and all his Instagrams are so good. Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. I'm getting overheated. Okay. So another thing we like to do, Chris, before we wrap up, we like to ask our guest what they would have made for the final challenge, for the elimination. So is there anything off the top of your head, like a comfort food you would make for a TGI Fridays menu that you think you would have done in this elimination?
You know, I kind of like the that meatloaf sandwich that she was doing. You know, I think that style of food is easy to do. You can make it in bulk, especially since TGI Friday is serving over 8,000 people a day, and that's just in one city.
Yeah,
you know, something that's pretty easy to make, or even like a pot pie. You know. Because the one thing that the kitchen, almost any kitchen has left over is leftovers at the end of any given day. And at the end of any given week, you know, you can make, a lot of places will make soup, but I think also if you make a nice pot pie, you know, or whatever kind of vessel that it's going to be in, and it could be vegetarian, it could be, you know, kind of new school with like grains and beans or something, but probably some kind of pot pie.
Wow. Okay. If I may press you, because we are going to put this up on our Instagram and put it up against the winner, and fans of our show are going to vote on which one they'd rather order, yours or Betty's. In your perfect world for this challenge, what kind of pot pie are we doing? What, even just like an essence of what it is?
Yeah, I would probably do like some form of, you know, like a chicken pot pie, of course, but depending on the season, you know, it would probably have like roasted fennel in it, you know, or maybe like some type of funky tomato, you know, or, you know, if it's fall time, then, like a lot of turnips and carrots, rutabaga,
No.
or you can kind of go North African style, with like the saffron and the cinnamon flavors in there with like fresh prunes. And I mean, it's, you can just
Wow.
go on
God,
and on.
prunes would be incredible. I also, before we end this episode, I do have to say, Chris, during Restaurant Wars, you made a beet donut, and you've just met me. Donuts are my favorite food, and beet is my other favorite food. So I lost my goddamn mind.
Try making yeast donuts at 7,000 feet up. Like
No,
here in
We
Brooklyn,
won't try that.
I'm not gonna try that.
but I'm punching them out. And by the time I'm like on donut number 20, donut 1 is like a car tire. It's like all puffed out and, so
Wow.
the
Okay,
yeast.
you're describing that as a stressful thing, but that is Reika's dream come true. A
Yeah,
beet
that
donut
it becomes 80 times bigger.
Yeah.
A tire-sized donut.
Oh, what a problem. What are we going to do with this? Oh, I ordered a donut at a restaurant and it's the size of my house. Incredible. Well, Chris, do you have anything you want to promote? Anything you want to plug?
Well, we're soon to open Butterfunk Biscuit Company. That's going to be open on the campus of Columbia University. It's coming in early 2021. Back in January, I signed a book deal with Chronicle Books. So my very first cookbook will be coming out soon.
So exciting.
That's incredible. And for those of you who haven't, tried Butterfunk's food, I went to Butterfunk after seeing Top Chef Colorado and losing my goddamn mind. Those brown sugar biscuits that you see on the show in season 15 are out of control. You made it with like the lemonade fried chicken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Out of control. So good. So you gotta go to this Columbia University new biscuit shop.
Yes, unbelievable. That is a dish to me when I think of Top Chef. I think that dish, Chris, and Inception is one of the most memorable dishes, both in the way you spoke about it, how much passion you brought to it, how beautiful it was in its plating, how much they loved it. It is one of the most memorable Top Chef dishes in all of the seasons, in my opinion.
And I promise we're not blowing smoke because we will rail on people's asses on this show. We are not blowing smoke. I literally just recommended your buttermilk fried chicken, or your lemonade fried chicken, recipe to somebody who was like talking about how they like fried chicken. I'm like, listen, I've been a vegetarian for 19 years. I don't fucking know how this tastes, but it looked good as hell. Like 2 days ago, that and Joe Sasso's sticky licky chicken wings. I've been recreating the sauce he made for that on little vegan fucking soy nubs that I eat.
He makes one of his new things. He makes these chicken parm tortellinis off the chain.
His pasta inspired me. I've been making ravioli and agnolotti because I follow him on Instagram.
Did you see the butternut squash ice cream from a couple days ago? Sick. I'm telling you. Him and Shola are probably the two most brilliant dudes I know.
Wow.
I am out of my mind hungry. Yeah. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
And one more thing before you go. You are Top Chef.
It's about time.
Hell fucking yeah!
Time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much, Chris. Once again, the donations for Philabundance will be open for 24 hours. So we'll make the donation tomorrow. I'll be posting about how much money we raised for last week and this week, later this week. So you still have time to give. And just if you live, we're having people drop in the comments right now that they live near Columbia and they can't wait to try out your new restaurant. And we'll be getting your cookbooks literally the second it comes out.
Truly.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, everyone. We're out.
Oh, great.
Oh my God, Chris, thank you so much.